been eating pot belly, greasy face, Glock heavy. She just say talking shit, do not tell me. I don't wanna see the hate, all that shit do not help me. I'm just trying to plead my case to the most high. Pray I see the gates. I was about to Cancun, but we just got the house instead. Covered all of their payment, and now she got the bobblehead. Looking at me like dinner, she said she about to gobble lead. Point the beam like a pencil, and then you gotta swallow lead. Point the beam like a pencil, and then you gotta swallow it. Pack my bag with essentials, I can't forget the hollow tip. Niggas losing they mental, and Satan come demolish it. Niggas all on they mental, and get the whining like a bitch. Just like iron, they rust. Niggas trying, they luck. Keep it real, everybody out here lying. Save us, steady raising dead. They was out here lying in dust. Niggas on my head, so the brotherhood is a must. Any hood, I be riding with my brothers that I trust. Know I'm good, cause they slime with their fingers on the clutch. Money piling like I'm trying to make it stack in the rush. One west to the death, and that ain't even enough, cause I'm coming back. I ain't never done with that, going ahead and spread your lies. I'ma let you run with dad, wanting me to spread the thighs. I ain't having fun with dad, nigga, hell no. Then she wanna chop it up like a lumberjack. Got some exes popping up, trying to run it back. When we come and hit the hole like a running back. If the Lord take a soul, ain't no coming back. On my soul couldn't fold like 100 racks. I'm down for my niggas, I up for my niggas. I go and do the time, stay stuck for my niggas. I ride for my niggas, I die for my niggas. One west to the death, no lie, little nigga. I'm down for my niggas, I up for my niggas. I go and do the time, stay stuck for my niggas. I ride for my niggas, I die for my niggas. One west to the death, no lie, little nigga. The full Nicky on my waistline like a big nigga. No limit, I'm a tank, cold game, hit different. We focus on who around, not concerned with who's missing. My boots nigga never been a house shoe. She don't like it, but she love me. I can tell when she want me. Tell, then I sit the body bag like a one seal. I'm dropping every day, live my feel clumsy. Through the pain, but we don't find shit. I know enough that I don't know shit. It's one thing I know this. Never bite the end that feeds you. Never learn the whole shit. We don't want half of the world, man. We coming for this whole but shit. In the world of us known to pack back like a road I'm trip. In the den with the lions. I be living this in real gain everything. But you gon' lose your soul. That's a real one. Led by a coward. I don't know what that feel like. Black on black toes to my head. I can't kill Christ. I'm down for my niggas. I up for my niggas. I go and do the time. Stay stuck for my niggas. I ride for my niggas. I die for my niggas. One west to the death. No lie, little nigga. I'm down for my niggas. I up for my niggas. I go and do the time. Stay stuck for my niggas. I ride for my niggas. I die for my niggas. One west to the death. No lie, little nigga.
You like that, Enzo? I see you barking, boy. I got you 3 in a row. Oh. Now we're getting. Yes, sir. I see you.
I have to finish this paper. I'm swamped. No one told me college would be so damp.
Just get Grammarly. It's free.
Can it help with what I wrote last night? It only took 3 coffees and some cheese.
Grammarly will catch all those spelling and grammar errors, and it'll help with the bigger stuff. Like, look, you're being way too casual here, and it's saying that this paragraph needs to be shorter. So then, click, you fix it.
Is this why nobody else is stressed about this paper? I thought there was just something in the water.
There is. Grammarly can also give you ideas to make your writing better. Add more background, add specific examples, focus your conclusion.
Wow, this sounds like me, but better. A less damp me.
Victory looks good on you.
You think a less damp me could get that internship?
A less damp you could do anything. Download Grammarly for free.
Do me a favor. Stop copying my man Shaw's style, man. Shaw's the original.
I'm still told from the night before.
Let's go! One West, come!
I'm about sick of these pussy ass niggas tryna rap, tryna sound like the boy 2T. I got that grip on my gun, I I ain't gonna never fucking run. Pussy boy, you can never beat me. Look at that. Bubble clap, bubble clap. Whoa, we knock the ball. We let off thunder shots, yeah. Crack up, boy. You cannot roll with us, roll with us. Crack your head, break your leg for just approaching us. We got our senders up and making moves on your block, make you look amateur. I got them bitches in my car, they gon' aim to death. So fuck that squad, and fuck these hoes, but I had that God with y'all. Riddle me this and riddle me that. How many times you ever seen UPK take a fucking L? Whole week and you can tell. But it look like I'm fucking sell. Whole water like a well. That's why I never left a trail. I'm about 6, let him look down. Pussy ass niggas tryna rap and tryna sound like me. Boy, big ass niggas can't wait to see me slip. But I got grip on that ARP. Yeah, all of these hoes tryna hang out with my foes. Double down and bring me all your things. I got rank, I got power, and I ain't never going backwards. Pussy boy, not even in my pantry. I ain't going fucking backwards. No. Not a fucking bed. No. I ain't going fucking backwards. No. That's your fucking brain, nigga. Huh? Who the fuck you got that stain, nigga? Bitch, my nuts gon' fucking hang, nigga. Huh? You cannot play me like no lame, nigga. Got my life fucked up, you insane, nigga? Niggas say they blocked up. That's why they had locked up. Niggas say it's block strong, but that block really patrol, cause he can't shoot in this facility. I ain't going backwards.
We ain't going backwards. Y'all going backwards, man.
Forward me, shot 2G.
We run this. Don't you understand that? One.
Hi, Shalom Israel. We're at Israelite School of Universal and Practical Knowledge. We've been established in teaching the truth since 1969 under Commanding General Yohana. As you know, Memorial Day is for the Black slaves, not the U.S. soldiers. That's the title of this class. And as usual, if you got any questions or comments, type them in. So we're gonna go over a little bit about brief history about Memorial Day, since this is Monday night history class. But if y'all got any questions, just type them in the chat, and we'll I got a good class for y'all today. You know, as usual, of course, I'm gonna leave y'all with some scriptures and a brief history. So to make sure I'm centered. Okay, Salaki. Brief history about what goes on with the Memorial Day, what it means to, what it should mean for Black people, what it means to the U.S. soldier, what it means to white Americans, and should you celebrate it? Because it's one thing to, and this is a question I'd like to pose to y'all. If us as Black people, right, the Hebrews, if we create something that our people have done, if white Americans take over, right, they take it over, they hijack it, and make it to like their own, should we still celebrate it? That's the question I want to ask y'all. So I'm going to pose the question again for those who are just checking in. If Black people create something, if we was to create something, then if our oppressors, if they come hijack it, make it to a national holiday, should we still celebrate it? That's the question I would like to ask. So it's kind of like, just think about something like you and your significant other, you know what I'm saying, for the sister, for the sister, you and your Ottawa, you know, for the brothers, you and your rib. If y'all had like an anniversary, y'all decided y'all did something that was great and it was honorable, and y'all just wanted to like hold on to it. So every year you celebrate it. If our oppressors hijack it, should we stop? Okay, Aurora said no. Okay, why? If you could expound on that a little bit, if you could. Why should we stop celebrating something that we created, even though it's been hijacked? Because I'm going to go ahead and tell you, Juneteenth got hijacked. It's kind of like, which I get where she's coming from, but I would like for her to expound on it if she could. Like, it's kind of like, is that in it? It's kind of like, is there anything left for niggas? Like, damn, can we have something for ourselves? You took our identity, you took all of our creations. We don't get paid for anything. You hijack now Juneteenth. Supposed to be about black people, and now we're seeing Caucasians on the Juneteenth celebration. Caucasians at the festival. We should let them in to spend their money, but they should not be vendors. Like, is there anything that niggas can have? You ever feel like that? Like, why is it that they get to be selfish and they got like their old clubs and families and bankers and societies of people? They get to be just themselves. Why can't it be just something for niggas? And I'm gonna tell you, you would only find that there's only a small fraction of people who do that today, where they have something for only for niggas, only for the Hebrews, the lost 12 tribes of the house of Israel. And I'm gonna tell you in a second who does that only for Negroes. But yeah, I'd like to have something just for black people. And y'all forgive me. I think I wore this shirt. Uh, I wore this shirt maybe like a Monday or two ago. I didn't give a damn. I felt it was proper to rock this shirt again, so y'all can never forget what our people went through. I gotta represent the never forget. I have to show this. Like, and we should. And if for those of y'all who are creative, make a shirt with like some black soldiers. You know what I'm saying? And make it very graphic so that they can see the hateful crimes that they've done. So like you can't hear. So like give me 1 second. I can't hear me now. I should be Tawab. I put a one in the chat if y'all could, Baba Kashaw. Baba Kashaw put a two in the chat. Let me look this up as well. One is Tawab. Okay, my son Christ. You shouldn't have to share. I was a two now. Hold on. Salakia. I might have to check out this microphone. Give me 1 sec. Let me try something. I want to not go with the strong. Okay, Khan, for what? All right, so um back to it. So okay, Aurora says I'm breaking up a little bit. Okay, Khan's Tawab. Manama says, Khan, we shouldn't have to share. Okay. Yeah, Khan, I agree with you, sis. We should not have to share. But in reality is, what if I was to tell you that black people created Memorial Day? Today we always look at soldiers, primarily Caucasian soldiers. So with that being said, should we hold true to Memorial Day? Because our ancestors in America, they they celebrated. Well, they honored the dead soldiers, which I'm going to bring out the history of in just a second. So since it's been hijacked, how can we establish something but still be separated from them? I guess that'd be like the proper question to ask. Since the United States hijacked the movement, how can we still hold true to our movement but still separate from them? Okay. No, so war sister put no because it's not in the Bible. It's not a high holy day. Okay, Khan sis, are you aware that even though it's not a high holy day, they do have commemorations? They do have things you can honor. For an example, an anniversary. It's not biblically necessary, but it's also not unlawful. There's nothing wrong to say, hey, on this day, we like to honor our dead soldiers who fought to give them a proper burial. And every year we like to come together and say, these men fought on the line to free us. So I agree with you on that, but there's some things we can hold on to. Okay, I like what Parak said, we're all black on that day. Okay, we're all black in sack clothes. There's some things we can do. Aurora, you are in a correct spirit. But I just wanna let you know that there are some things we can do, even though it's not biblically necessary. All right, so it's kind of like you going to a graduation. You know what I'm saying? Nothing unlawful. It's just a celebration. Like hey, congratulate you on your hard work. Look at it like that. There's nothing compared to a birthday. Now, I'm not saying something like a birthday. No, we're not doing that. Or like Valentine's Day or St. Patrick's Day. We want to talk about just on the topic at hand. Okay, but now I put we can honor it within in spirit and in space. Okay. In spirit we can. So while y'all still putting in the comments, I just want to say this as well. Memorial Day, as I just told y'all, the topic of class is, Memorial Day was created by black slaves with dead slaves. Well, the families of the soldiers in the Union. Which I'm gonna go into like the generic version of Memorial Day, and then I'm gonna go into the history. Then of course, for not y'all in the truth, but I know that for those who are gonna be watching, people only believe Caucasian. So I got a Caucasian telling you the truth about Memorial Day, along with our own people tell you the truth about this Memorial Day, along with myself. So you saying what will be the difference then? You said what would be the difference between what? A birthday and an anniversary? Just to clarify your question for me so I can answer. I think I know where you're going with it. I just want to make sure that I'm answering your question without assuming anything. All right, so well, there's a lot we can do as far as how we come together. Like while you typing in your response, or there's some feast that we celebrate. It's not a high holy day. Some are just work. This person did good deeds that saved Israel, and would like to honor them by having this feast. Some are high holy days, some are just feasts. So maybe I can in Sabbath service, I have a brother go over the difference between the two and why we still hold both. Why some are mandatory and some are just coming together. Or maybe I can do a history on it, the difference between the feast days and high holy days. So that we can have a proper understanding. And I can also do a class on anniversaries and graduations. So that way everything be understood. But while people are talking about that, let me go ahead and go into a little bit of the history. I think I want to start with the generic version of the history, right? And let me go to this. And bear with me 1 second. Well, we all know that. Do y'all want to see the generic history? Y'all should know that. I've been just tell y'all the generic history before I go pull it up. The generic history about Memorial Day is for the soldiers to come together to commemorate their dead. It became a national holiday like 1920? It was hijacked. No, so like 1971 became a national holiday. And this is the generic. Okay, kind of got your question. Between Memorial Day, that is a holiday that is made by man, and a high holy day. Okay. So Memorial Day is created by man. Con. In the Bible, I'm just gonna be very general, and then I'll do like another class on it and to answer your question in depth. Memorial Day was created by man, but what man created is also matters. Meaning, like I'm about to go into the class right about it, teach it right now, but it was created by Black people, and basically, we have customs to the point where like how we bury our dead. So there was, in a nutshell, I'm going to make it very general, and then I'll just explain as the class go on. We honor our dead, we buried them properly, right? What happened was there was some soldiers, Union soldiers, black men who were slaves, decided to go out and fight for the Union to be free, to go against the Confederate. And in doing so, the ones who had failed, the ones that died, they put them inside of a mass grave, put them in about the hundreds to even the thousands. So the family members and the kinsmen of those dead soldiers, of slaves, decided that they needed a proper burial. So they went and dug up the mass grave and put them in an individual grave and gave them a proper tombstone. And say, we want to honor these men who fought for our freedom, and call it Memorial Day. Well, I think back then they called it Dedication Day. And say, for every year around this time, we want to honor our fallen, the ones who fought for us. Now that is something like you're not celebrating yourself. If I'm making any sense to you, it's not a celebration of yourself. You just want to honor the dead. I'm gonna paraphrase a feast. There's a couple of feasts that we're gonna go over. It's got a feast coming up Sunday, June 8th. The Feast of First Fruits. All right. So there are high holy days, as in like the Passover, and then you got the feast where like a woman saved Israel. And we just want to honor for people for like their dedication and the things they did to save all of Israel. Because it's been times where like we could have been on the brink of extinction. And some people just came together and they fought for us. There's so many stories of like different feasts of men coming together and they fought. Like we would have like a feast for damn near everything with all the captivity that we've been inside. So there is a difference between you celebrating a man-made holiday like today is hijacked and we call it Memorial Day because our oppressor took it from us. They have observed the slaves and what they was, or free slaves, or what they was doing, and they decided they want to honor their fallen by making a national holiday and change the name from Dedication Day to Memorial Day, and then make it a national holiday in 1971. They decided they wanted to honor their soldiers. They took what the slaves were doing and made it to a national holiday. But for us, it was just us coming together. No difference from like, you want to celebrate, you got free. The Passover, the days change, right? But in actuality, the Passover is a celebration of the Lord unaliving those Cometians, the Egyptians. That is a mass killing that we celebrate. and it's us getting freed from them. And there are a few more high holy days or feasts that we celebrate of us coming out of captivity. When we come out of America, who knows what this will be called? I can only imagine what they're gonna call us getting what's gonna be called once we get free from America. It won't be Passover, it'll be something else. And it's gonna be it might be a high holiday or be a massive feast, one or the other. But it's just something for us to show that we remember and honor and to remind ourselves what the Lord did for us. And that's pretty much what it is. So I'm gonna get into that a little bit more for you, but that's the difference. You're in the right spirit though, but as long as you can understand this, that some things are created by man, and some things are worshiping man, and some things are honoring man. And we don't want to honor what heathens do. Since he took Memorial Day and made it all about himself, let him have it. We could do things for ourselves. No difference of like how we would mourn our dead and we'll like sack clothing, or we'll make vows and we'll dress a certain way. Like if you read Numbers, the 6th chapter, there's different like Nazarite vows where men would not cut their hair. They'll wear sack clothing, like they might even be wealthy, or they'll just look like and dress like the poor to uphold that vow. So there's things we would do to honor. And that's the spirit I want you to think about. It's like you want to honor something, give reference to. We're not celebrating Memorial Day today because they just hijacked it, and most people don't know the true history about Memorial Day. So let me go with let's see. Can y'all see that? Let me select here. Oops. Nope, I don't want it like that. Okay, bear with me 1 second. Share this tab instead. All right, this is by Britannica, and we're gonna go over just the general history of the war, the prelude to the war. So this is just talking about like the war, right? Let me make sure. Let me look. Let me make sure y'all can see me good. Okay, y'all see me as well. All right, so this is just a brief history to it. The prelude to the war. And I'm gonna just go over it. I ain't gonna read it in full detail, but I'm just reading a little bit of it, these different excerpts. And I'm gonna go over some pictures, and of course I got some videos, and most definitely I'm gonna give y'all some scriptures, all right? Well, there's a bunch of scriptures you can use to show why we don't celebrate Memorial Day today. But we definitely would like to educate people, let them know that, white America stole Memorial Day from slaves. Like they always talk about how bad we are, how we're not good for anything, and yet and still they steal from us. They never even thought about honoring their fallen soldiers, right? We honored ours and say, you know what, these men deserve a proper burial. We shouldn't throw them in a mass grave. We should let them be buried and say these 200 men to 1,000 men deserve some reverence for their bravery to fight for us, to free us from our oppressor, even though we still had to live with them. All right. So some like the men that fought in the Confederate War, right? The Union soldiers, they are more honorable than your Martin Luther Kings today. They are more honorable than your who else you got? I can't say Louis Farrakhan. I don't think he's an Israelite. But like any of your religious leaders today, anybody that's in power, those soldiers are more honorable than the men who so-called fight for freedom today. Your religious leaders. All right, so this right here just talking about slavery between 1815 and 1861. The Northern states was rapidly modernizing and diversifying, although agriculture. This is like the prelude to the war, right? Let me I want to get down to the war. But this is important. I want to highlight this part right here. I'm going to focus on that right there, the 1850s. It says, in the late 1860s, this appeared to be sound business decision. The price of cotton in the South's defining crop had skyrocketed in the 1850s, and the value of slaves, who were, after all, property, rose commensurately. By 1860, the per capita of wealth of Southern whites was twice of the Northerners, and 3/5 of the wealthiest individuals were in the country were Southerners. So this is just talking about like what happened with the prelude to the wars. So this right here just showing you that slavery was big business, and they had a need for more slaves was because they was making more cotton, making twice as much money, and they had all the. If you wanted to be wealthy, you need to have slaves. So they created like a need for more slavery. So this is just to give you like the prelude about why it was so important to honor these men who decided to fight, albeit they fought for the oppressor in their own ignorance, not knowing how deceitful this devil was, but they still fought. All right. They're talking about the Mexican War. But let me go ahead to go to the next page. All right. Now we can get into the real deal. Here is the overlooked Black history of Memorial Day. This right here is an old image of the graves. Remember, I just told you earlier that they were thrown inside of a mass graveyard, and the kinsmen of the dead slave soldiers decided that they needed a proper burial when dug up the mass grave and put them in a proper grave. So this is an old photo. Look at that. And the deceased loved ones knew that they earned and deserve a proper burial. So like, let me get back to this. Okay, so like, I don't need to go to that. All right, so I'm gonna scroll down some more. So here's some of the brief general history that the part that won't teach, but of course in UPK we're gonna bring the truth out at all times. It says nowadays Memorial Day honors veterans of all wars, but its roots are in America's deadliest conflict, the Civil War. Approximately 620,000 soldiers died, and they talk about 2/3 died from disease. We don't care about all that. So this is the general history of Memorial Day, and then we'll get down to like the proper details. This is the work of honoring the dead. The work of honoring the dead began right away all over the country, and several American towns claim to be the birthplace of Memorial Day. Researchers have traced the earliest annual commemoration to women who laid flowers on soldiers' graves in the Civil War hospital town of Columbus, Mississippi in 1866. But historians like the Pulitzer Prize winner David Blight have tried to raise awareness of freed slaves who decorated soldiers' graves a year earlier to make sure their history gets told too. So this is a devil, but this was, you know what I'm saying, the Lord making sure y'all know some of our history of our work that we done. This was an honest devil. Somewhat for this piece of action. I don't know the devil's lifestyle or what all he's done, but for this one right here, he was accurate with the history. You know what I'm saying? It says according to Blight's 2001 book, Race and Reunion, the Civil War was an American commemoration organized by freed slaves, and he had to put some white missionaries took place on May 1st, 1865. We're just going to skip the white missionaries. We're going to focus on the freed slaves. All right. Former planters racetrack was Confederates held captured Union soldiers during the last year of the war. At least 257 prisoners died, many of disease, were buried in unmarked graves. So Black residents of Charleston decided to give them a proper burial. And that's the prison that they held them in. And remember, it says this is, I'm going to highlight this for y'all a little bit. Hopefully y'all can see it. Hopefully y'all can see that. And I'm going to try to zoom in. Let me try to zoom in. There we go. It says the clubhouse at the race course where Union soldiers were held prisoner. Right here. They held them Union soldiers prisoner, and they end up dying. Some also, don't forget the ones who died in the war. It says in approximately 10 days leading up to the event, roughly 24 African-American Charlestonians reorganized the graves into rows and built a 10-foot tall white fence around them. An archway overhead spelled out "Martyrs of the Race Course" in black letters. And it says about 10,000 people, mostly black residents, participated in the Mayfest tribute, according to the coverage back then in the Charleston Daily Courier and the New York Tribune. It says 3,000 black schoolchildren paraded around the racetrack holding roses and singing Union songs. We ain't gonna do all that. So this is some of the true history about Memorial Day. This is something that they did to, honor their soldiers, their fallen. Yeah, Khan. Okay, I'll go back to it. Slack, give me 1 second. I'll go back to it right now. Hopefully that's big enough. And let me scroll back up to some of the pictures too. So I can bear with me. Let me try to make myself a little bit smaller. No, I don't want to be right there. Hopefully that can. You know what? I'll just make a full screen Salaki. Give me 1 second. Let's just make a full screen. So y'all can see what I'm teaching. All right. Let me get back to it. Yeah, Khan. So this is the courtyard they had our forefathers in, and they of course they died, and they built a mass grave. And this right here is where they held at, but this is the. Let me scroll back up. This is the graveyard that they built for them. So just imagine like your uncle and your granddad fought in the Civil War on the Union side to try to get freedom, because Abraham Lincoln was signed some things and said he'll try to free the slaves. Well, he wanted to keep us in slavery, but he didn't have the manpower, so he allowed slaves to join the war to fight for freedom. All right, so this is what happened. It says the work of honoring the dead began right away all over the country, and several American towns claim to be the birthplace, as I said earlier. But David Blight saw letters, which I got a video of David Blight saying the letters that he had found, it predates what all these other people was claiming. And let me just show you how much of a devil he is. Read this. I'm gonna highlight this. It's already highlighted. I'm gonna zoom in even more. It says several American towns claim to be the birthplace of Memorial Day. Right? Let me put myself on the screen real quick for this part. I gotta add myself so y'all can see what the hell I got to say. Right here, it shows you how much of a devil he is. It got to the point where towns was trying to claim Memorial Day, and it took a devil to find letters that predates what they're claiming. They talking about 1866. The letters he found was from 1865. Devil's already trying to steal Memorial Day. Y'all didn't give a damn about y'all fallen soldiers, Union or Confederate. But it takes slaves to honor their dead and give them a proper burial and say we're going to honor these soldiers, these black slave soldiers. I got to make sure I put the slaves on there. These black slave soldiers, to honor them. And here it is, the devil that he is decide he wants to claim it for their own birthright, just so they can have clout. That just goes to show how much of a devil he is. I'm going to highlight that for those y'all need help seeing right here. Right there. Several American towns claim to be the birthplace of Memorial Day. But historians like David Blight raised awareness to show that free slaves decorated soldiers' graves a year earlier. A whole year earlier. That just shows you how devilish this devil is. And look at this. Oh, man, they some rats, man. They are some white lab rats. I'm just scrolling down, and y'all can see. This was something we did. We came together, about 10,000 people, and they had to put in there mostly black. Out of 10,000, probably 8,500 were black, maybe even 9,000. 9,400 or something, who knows? But mostly black participated on May 1st tribute. And this is by the Charleston Daily Courier. It says 3,000 black school children, had to put that in particular, black school children paraded around the racetrack holding roses. You understand? And then I got to highlight this part right here. It says, fall about adults. Where my mouse at? Oh, right here. My Salaki. I couldn't see it at first. It says, they will follow by adults who represent AIDS societies for free black men and women. We're going to unhighlight the black pastor part. They didn't know no better. What? It says that adults represent the aid for free black men and women. Like, we always honored our own. All right? It says the New York Tribune described the tribute as a procession of friends and mourners as South Carolina and the United States never saw before. The grave sites looks like a one mass of flowers, and the breeze wafted the sweet perfumes of them, and tears of joy were shed. Like, this is something that we did. And Constance, you're right. You see why Trump has been a devil about Memorial Day. He don't want that true history to come out. Could you imagine if all of America found out that this is all for black soldiers? He says this tribute gave birth to the American tradition, Blight wrote in his book Race and Reunion. And here's the key part. I'm gonna highlight this part too. I might zoom in. That's right here what we need to remember. Memorial Day had been founded by African Americans in a ritual of remembrance and consecration. That's how Memorial Day started, y'all. And this is a devil. This is an Edomite, a Caucasian, a thoroughbred Caucasian white American. Blight wrote that Memorial Day has been founded by African Americans. Now, for y'all who don't want to believe a nigga, believe a Hebrew, we have a Edomite telling you, a Caucasian, a white American, telling you that Memorial Day has been founded and created by slaves, African Americans. All right, so if you don't want to believe it from me, believe it from him. Because some people need Caucasians validation. Some people need CBS. Caucasians validations of secrecy or something. Okay, cool, you can get in there. Damn, that trying to take my drink. I paid for that. All right. All right, so it's just some of the history. This is like, hopefully I can see that. This is just more of them drawing. All right, there's just more drawings, more artwork. All right, it says an Alfred Ward illustration of Union Soldier Cemetery known as Martyrs of the Race Course. These men were martyrs. All right, so this is, like, again, you can also look up, type of stuff like the true history of Memorial Day, the slaves in Memorial, and you can find this information. As a matter of fact, while I'm pulling this up, let me go ahead and get to some scriptures. Let me get into some videos. Okay, hold on. Let me find it. Okay, there we go. Zoom in so y'all can read that. It says the fact that the free slaves Memorial Day tribute is not as well remembered is emblematic of the struggle of that would follow as African Americans fight to fully recognize their contribution to American society continues to this day. Sidebar, let me put myself so I can see. We should not be fighting to be recognized by Americans. We should be fighting that we be recognized by our own. We should want to know how we feel about each other. And let me just let me show y'all some of these soldiers. Y'all can see these warriors. Yeah, these are the ones who fought. You understand? These are some of these soldiers. All right. Click on another one. Look at all these soldiers. They want to honor a devil, but they don't want to honor the men that actually fought for freedom. These men actually fought for freedom. Not like how those devils are. And when you pull this up, there's tons and tons of pictures that you can find of these soldiers. Look at these warriors fighting for freedom. And they don't get no honor. They get thrown inside of a mass grave, inside of a prison. And yet you see some Peckerwood with a goddamn biker vest on talking about U.S. veteran. Well, let me tell you something for you U.S. soldiers. America don't give a damn about you. You want to know how I know this? Because I got the statistics on it of how many of y'all are homeless. Oh yeah. I got these statistics to show that America don't give a damn about their soldiers. The VA don't give a damn. Y'all are homeless. Y'all are suffering PTSD. How many people, every about 4 or 5 homeless people you see on the street, how many of them you think is soldiers? How many of them you think served in the military? The military don't give a damn about you. We give a damn about our own. So I just want to make sure I bring that out to show that they don't give a damn about us. They don't give a damn about us. So, and that's going to be destruction. There's going to be a punishment that's going to come to them for that. They're going to have to suffer. They're going to have to pay for that. As a matter of fact, let me go ahead and get to let's go to this. Let me go to this page since we're talking about it. Salakia. Let me get on this. Veteran homelessness has increased by 7.4% in 2003. Now, this is from 2003. Yeah, oh yeah. Y'all homeless to the Caucasian soldier. America don't give a damn about you. Let me make sure I can zoom this in. All right, let me take myself off screen so I'll make this a little bit larger. Hopefully this will work. Okay, that should be Tawab. So what you mean by 2 of 5? Oh, 2 of consuls. Yeah, that is it. That is it. You're absolutely right. Every 2 out of 5 homeless people you see on the streets, they are soldiers. All right. So let me go into this. Let me read some of this for y'all so y'all can see. And feel free to, let me get this annual report and let y'all zoom in on that. Hopefully it's. And this right here is talking about the reduction, right? Let me tell you why it's being reduced. The fact is that you got to reduce it. Like the point is, this is how evil the government is. You shouldn't even have that problem to begin with. If you got a man who's going to fight for country, why not make sure he has a home to come back to when he gets back here? Why is it that you got to fight for him? He got to become homeless, and then you want to try to reduce the homeless rate. One would have you think that, or one would assume, or you would think it's honorable, and say, you know what, this man went and fought for country. We should take care of him. He should have somewhere to lay his damn head, right? One would assume. So, but this our oppressor, the devil that he is, he ain't gonna let you have a damn thing. He ain't gonna let you have a damn thing. You gonna have to suffer forever. Suffer forever. Salakia. All right. So let me go back to read some a little bit on this article about the homelessness. It says the data showed that on a single night in January 2023, and this is almost 2 years old, there were 35,000 veterans who experienced homelessness in the United States. This reflects a 7.4 increase in the number of veterans experiencing homelessness in 2022. Now, they want to talk about how it declined by 52% in 2010. It may have, sure. However, why? Why does it have to take for someone to report what the American government is doing to their own soldiers? Like, when they say be army strong, they don't tell you that, hey, out of every 10,000 soldiers, 2,000 y'all gonna become homeless, and we ain't gonna take care of y'all. You're gonna be out in the streets. It's bad enough that you got to deal with the possibility of you losing your life, or you becoming a fallen soldier, or them sending your loved ones a damn American flag folded up in a triangle. It's bad enough you got to deal with that. What about if you was to survive? How would you become? Do you think you would want to sign up for being out on the streets, asking for pennies, asking for coins? They don't even ask for shelter. They're in so much hell. All they want is a drink. All they want is a few dollars to get high. All they want is a few dollars to go buy a burger. Buy that burger and probably sell that burger to get high again or get drunk. This is the part that they don't tell you, that America will not serve you. She picks and chooses. All right, so y'all can see these are some of the data. So this is by the news.va.gov. That is the website. All right. Let me go to another one. Of course, y'all know I got more for y'all. And this is right here, Veterans by the State. This is by Statista, Salafi. I don't want to go to that. They always talk about PTSD. Let's talk about mental health. Let's go to this figure right here. Can y'all see that? All right, Khan. It says, share of U.S. veterans and active service members of World of Wounded Warrior Project experienced a post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD, as a result of military service from 9/11, from 2017 to 2023. And we're talking about the percentages. They're talking about you're going to suffer from PTSD. Let me zoom in so y'all see these. So in 2017, let me take myself off the screen. I'll put myself right next to it so y'all can see it. All right. Can y'all still see that, Twab? Let's do it this way. All right, y'all can see right here, 2017, 77%, 2018, 78, 2019, 82, 2020, 82, 2023 is 76%. These are you becoming a soldier. You're, in all likelihood, you're going to suffer from PTSD disorder, post-traumatic stress disorder. All right. These are for people who are suffering from this, and these are only the ones who signed up for the WWP, the Wounded Warrior Project. All right, so this is something you're gonna most likely. This is what you're signing up for when you join the U.S. Military. This is what you're going to get. They're not gonna tell you. They're gonna tell you they're gonna honor you. You know, before COVID, I remember like if you was a soldier, Hooters would give you a free meal. You gotta wait the whole damn year to get a free meal or a discounted meal. And they watch you be on the corners by the interstate, entrance or exits, and ask them, say, homeless veteran, God bless you, anything can help. This is how they treat their soldiers. This is how they treat their wounded ones. And if you're a black man, you should not have anything to do with the U.S. military. All right, so of course, I got a video for y'all, and I'm going to some scriptures. And let me you know what? Give me what is it? Ezekiel. I'm gonna go to Ezekiel real quick. You know what, Salaki? I'm gonna go to Jeremiah 30. Oh, Salaki. I'm going to Jeremiah 30 and 10. Hopefully I can see this. I'll zoom in a taste. Let me know if that's Tawab. That should be Tawab. Con, it looks Tawab. I'll put myself at the bottom. So that should be Tawab. All right, so here's a scripture. This is Jeremiah chapter 30, verse 10. It says, therefore fear thou not, O my servant Jacob, saith the Lord, neither be dismayed, O Israel. Notice we ain't talking about, the whole entire earth, the heathens as well, Asian community, Hamite community, all of people, all of mankind. It's talking about, O Jacob, O Israel. For lo, I will save thee from afar, and thy seed from the land of their captivity. We've always been in captivity. And Jacob shall return, and shall be in rest, and be quiet, and none shall make him afraid. There'll come a time where we just won't be afraid of anything. All right. So I got a few more scriptures I want to go into. We fought for this oppressor. Now I'm going to give you a little insight. It's going to be a time when I don't know what happened with that. Hold up. Let me get this power plug. 1 second, Israel. Make sure we don't go night. Make sure we don't go night. Salakia. Bear with me one moment if y'all got another. Oh, yeah. There we go. Cooking with fish grease. All right. Let me go to. Let me jump over a few verses. All right. Let me go. We'll go to 16. All right. So this just look at this like some motivation. Israel. It says Jeremiah 30:16. It says, therefore, all they that devour thee shall be devoured. Notice they talking about come join hand in hands and kumbaya and God gonna forgive you. Now Jeremiah 30:16 says, therefore, all they that devour thee, all of us that got devoured, they shall be devoured. And all of thine adversaries. Notice they talking about that old love talk that your pastor wants to spoon feed you. Oh, Salakia. What happened to my camera? Can y'all still hear me? Lost connection. Hold up 1 second. Salakia, give me 1 second, Israel. Let's see what's going on. Can y'all still hear me? What about now? No, Salakia. Let me change this. What the heck is going on? I stopped cam. Let me go to. No, I don't want to be on this camera. Salakia. Bear with me one moment, Israel. What the heck is going on here? Let's go to my camera. All right. Think that should be it. All right. I think we better. Is that the WAP? All right, come. Most High in Christ. All right, let's go back to this sharing the screen. All right, there we go. Okay. Think we back cooking with fish grease. All right, Jeremiah 30:16. It says, therefore, all they that devour thee, even down to our soldiers, our slave soldiers who fought for this stanky country. It said they got devoured. It says they shall be devoured. And all thine adversaries. Now we have enemies, Israel. Black man, Hispanic woman, Native American child, you have adversaries. I mean, you got enemies. And this is what the Most High is telling you. And every one of them shall go into captivity. Every one of them. And they that spoil thee shall be spoiled. They're going to have to serve us. They're going to have to get inside their field. They're going to have to pick up that hay. Like, I know, us priests, we joking about talking how we're going to have our new slaves, how we're going to have them doing. One brother said he going to own a plantation full of sunscreen. Another brother said he going to own a plantation full of whips. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to have a plantation. I'm going to just have them having babies, and I'm going to just put them inside of a box, and I'm going to ship them off to the next plantation. Every brother always talk about how they're going to have their slaves. Meaning, like, we're just talking about how they're going to serve us. That's just the gist of it. They're going to serve us. And they're going to go into captivity. We're going to be the ruling class. No, it ain't going to be no graping. It ain't going to be no SA, no relations assaults, no RAs, relations of assaults. None of that nonsense. However, if you're going to be out there in that field, you're going to be in that food step line. You're going to be begging for crumbs. You're going to be on Section 8, which they are today, but all of y'all it's going to be not one of y'all is going to be wealthy. Not one. All right, so it says, and there shall spoil thee, and thee shall be spoiled, and all that prey upon thee, I will give for a prey. So there's gonna be a time when we get to go out and hunt. So our oppressors have done these all manner of wicked things to us. All right. I'm gonna do Isaiah 14:1. Just give y'all some scriptures about us ruling. Man, skin on my lip. Isaiah 14:1. Well, this is a EPK bedrock. And I'll read this real quick and I'll go on to the next scripture. This is Isaiah 14:1. For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel. And I will set them in their own land. And the strangers shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob. They're going to cleave unto us. And what's next on this? So we can get the next verse. So like, I ain't mean to do it that way. That was an easier way I should have did it. Don't worry, this is going to be our new Memorial Day. You understand? A new dedication day. It says, and the people shall take them and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel shall possess them. We're going to own them in the land of the Lord for the servants and handmaids, and they shall take them captives, who captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors. We're going to rule over our oppressors. And who's the biggest oppressor today? The white Mr. and Mrs. the white man, woman, and child. All right. So I want to make sure I give y'all a few of these scriptures. Of course, I got a video I wanted to play. But let's see. I'm gonna go to Revelation 13:9. Make sure y'all get y'all these scriptures. Revelation 13. There we go. Okay. This is, of course, these are bedrocks. And y'all can just save these. If any man have an ear, let him hear. What needs to be said? All right. Zoom this in. Revelation 13:10, he that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and faith of the saints. Like these of us who've been waiting on this, we're going to get out of here. All right. What I want? I'll give you a bunch of scriptures. Of course, I got quite a few. Let me go to, where's the Apocrypha? I want the Apocrypha here. Where is it at? What's X? I'm gonna go X and 1 and 6. I need to see if the Apocrypha is in there. Let's see what else I want. Yeah, I'm gonna go. Bear with me 1 second. Let me pull this up real quick. For those out who don't want to believe niggas. There we go. There we go. Booyah. All right. Here's for my sister. All right. It's a quick video. I'm gonna let this play through. All right.
Memorial Day celebrated today has pretty much erased the contributions of African Americans. But why are we surprised? First known as Decoration Day, Memorial Day became a national holiday in 1971. But Memorial Day's traditions actually date back to the days of the Civil War. John Logan, a Union Army general, typically gets credit for founding the holiday. Here's how it really went down. The year was 1865. The Civil War was raging, and Charleston.
Salaki. All right. I know I said I'm gonna let this play through, but did y'all just hear this? It's always a devil trying to hijack some shit. I mean, hijack some things we created. That's why we always say that the so-called white man is the devil that the Bible speaks of. He's just deceiver. Salaki.
South Carolina was a hot mess. White people were like, we out. But thousands of black people, many former slaves, remained. At the time, many Union soldiers were being held prisoner in a converted racecourse. At least 257 of the captives died because of the horrific conditions, and their bodies were discarded in a mass grave. Ultimately, the Union won, and a few weeks after, the Confederacy surrendered, and they packed up and left Charleston. A group of black workmen dug up the bodies, then reburied them to properly honor the fallen. They built a fence around this makeshift cemetery with a sign over the entrance saying, Martyrs of the Racehorse. I spoke with Professor David Blight, an American historian and scholar who's credited with bringing this story to light.
They held a huge parade, and it was about 10,000 people, led by children, carrying armloads of all kinds of flowers. They paraded around the racetrack, and then they gathered as many as could fit into the cemetery compound. About 3 or 4 black preachers read from scripture. A children's choir sang, and they sang America the Beautiful, if you can believe it.
But still, hardly anyone knows about it.
On May 1st, 1865, is in effect the first original performance of Memorial Day, but it was created by African Americans.
Why have black people been omitted from a critical part of this holiday's history? I've got an idea. Racism.
The white South was able to control first its own narrative, and then it could deal with the national narrative.
Despite efforts to forget the contributions of African Americans, we remain. remember. And just as we remember all of our fallen soldiers, we must also not forget the Black workmen whose noble actions became the catalyst for the holiday that we recognize today.
What's up? I'm PJ with The Root. We want to bring you more series and videos like this, and we need your help.
Let me tell you something, Israel. That was that. They're always going to hide. He said, "My workers going to love their slavery." Con. That was some of a little bit more. Let me select. Let me find this other one for y'all real quick. I wanted to find the David Black one. Black Salakia. Mispronounced the devil name. He'd be all right. Let's go to another one.
Did you know that you can have permanent teeth in just 24 hours? Payment options, achieving your dream smile.
Another video.
As Americans gather to observe Memorial Day, we're taking a moment to reflect on the historical roots of this somber holiday. KTVB's Tracy Bringhurst explores how this day of remembrance began and the often untold story of those who helped establish it.
Memorial Day. It's one of the country's most solemn holidays. It's dedicated to honoring and mourning U.S. military personnel who died while serving. Volunteers place American flags on graves and national.
Now this is the whitewashed version. All right. I had it up here. Let's see. Was it fudge cakes? This is the whitewashed version. Bear with me 1 second. I'm gonna make myself. Oh, Salak, let me make myself large. All right, let me get this last video for y'all. I ain't gonna keep y'all too long.
Guess what? The Memorial Day celebrated.
I can have one more. I can't. Let's see. There we go. All right. I don't want to go too long-winded. I found the video that I needed.
Have you ever wondered about the origins of Memorial Day? Well, today I'm going to tell the story about formerly enslaved people in Charleston and the very first celebration of Memorial Day. You can reach out to me at onemichistory.com in the contact
Look at these
page.
good.
Also,
Look at
if you'd
these
like to support the
soldiers.
channel, you can do so on my Buy Me Coffee on my Patreon page in the description below. Give us 5 stars on
No,
Apple Podcasts
I'm not
and
gonna play the
support
whole
the channel.
video. I'm just gonna
But
skim
without further
through it.
ado, let's
I
get
just want to
started.
get to it when we
Memorial
talk
Day
about the
celebrates
devil.
and commemorates the brave soldiers that lost their lives during all American conflicts, but its roots are based in America's deadliest conflict, the Civil War. Born out of necessity due to the colossal amount of lives lost during the conflict, at least 600 to 800,000 Union and Confederate soldiers perished. To remember their lives, the first National Memorial Day was observed May 30th, 1868. The origins of Memorial Day, though, are hotly
Notice it
contested,
said
with
national.
many cities in the United States each claiming to be the birthplace of the first celebration. Previously, the earliest annual commemoration was thought to be organized by women of the Civil War Hospital in Columbus, Mississippi. The ceremony was held in honor of fallen soldiers by laying flowers at their graves in April of 1866. But historians have long sought to shed light on freed African Americans in Charleston, South Carolina, who conducted an even
Oh,
Game of
good.
Thrones King's Road is now available for both PC.
Slovakia.
earlier Memorial Day observance. This celebration would occur in 1865 and was dubbed Decoration Day. David Blight, a professor of American history at Yale University, was doing research on the Civil War in 1996 when he was given the opportunity to examine 2 boxes of unsorted material from Union veterans from Harvard's Houghton Library. He discovered a handwritten story detailing an 1865 march on a racetrack accompanied by a date referencing an article in the New York Tribune and a file labeled 1st, Decoration Day. The racetrack in question was Washington Racecourse and Jockey Club in Charleston, South Carolina. In the late stages of the Civil War, the Confederate Army repurposed the Washington Racetrack and Jockey Club, a luxurious country club and horse racing track in Charleston, South Carolina, to hold Union prisoners of war.
Right, here's what y'all seeing. Just old pictures, right? So I just want to show that our oppressor will always hijack everything we got. And I want to leave y'all with one more scripture. Let me share my screen on this page. Can y'all see it? Let me see. All right, come. This is Revelations 2:26. It says, "And he that overcometh and keepeth my works," meaning like for those of y'all who keep this truth, men and women, we got to keep this truth. But for the men, all right, it says, because we're being rulership, but our wives be right there next with us, holding us down. They're going to hold the dough. They're going to throw the rose petals down on the floor. They're going to make sure we got everything. It said, "He that overcometh and keepeth my works until the end, to him will I give power over the nations." Nowhere are we going to be this one big kumbaya. They are going to serve us. They're going into servitude. And we cannot forget and never let them off the hook. So they will talk about Happy Memorial Day. To hell with their soldiers. We should honor ours. And there's nothing wrong for us to come together and say, hey, you know what? Maybe we can all wear all black on this day. We all can come together and say, you know what? Our soldiers fought in the Union War to try to free us. Even though that bastard Abraham Lincoln said that he had no intention on freeing us, he just did it so that the South would not secede. So he had to make a decision, a business decision, to let us have our freedom, but still keep us here. In another class, I'm going to bring out the true history about Abraham Lincoln, how he never had any intentions on freeing the slaves, and how that he wanted us to leave and get the hell up out of America. But stupid black leaders wanted us to stay. All right, so we wanted to talk about Memorial Day. It was created by slaves. Our oppressor hijacked it. That's exactly what happened. And a white historian, if they're honest, if the devil would ever be honest, he would tell you that he hijacked this from black people. But this devil is never honest. With that being said, I'm going to end the class. I'm Police Officer Darakia of the Israelite School of Universal and Practical Knowledge. Start out at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. And I would like to let y'all know that when you're dealing with our oppressor, you got to have a weapon, and that's brotherhood. All right, shalom.
You know what time it is, nigga. Better watch how you step in. Yeah. But that was my nigga. Yeah. I'm in the yo. Got my nigga Ramon with me. But that was my niggas, it'll be an honor. You know what I'm saying? Under commanding General Yana. Straight off the top, I love all of my niggas. That shit ain't gon' stop till we on top and we ballin', my nigga. We be fly as fuck, you know them bitches be stalking my niggas. That shit'll never change and it's the same with all my niggas. City to city, I should be at home. That's what my ribs say. But bitch, I'm grown. I'm in these streets and closed caption. Niggas know we bout that action. If a nigga play with me, then my heart can gon' let him have it. Hey, think you the shit, this truth the shit. Nigga play, I let that Ruger hit. Get on them tracks, they be like, who is this? I'm rude with it. Ain't got no manners. All them pussy niggas talking shit. Y'all know they can't stand us, but we UPK Louisiana, bitch, that's what I'm ripping. And my niggas solid number, real ones in my section. If you wanna get down, put your boots on, start stepping. Brotherhood is a weapon. Brotherhood is a weapon. Better watch how you stepping, cause brotherhood is a weapon. If I die for my niggas, it'll be an honor and a blessing. Better watch how you stepping, cause brotherhood is a weapon. Brotherhood is a weapon. Better watch how you stepping, cause brotherhood is a weapon. If I die for my niggas, it'll be an honor and a blessing. Better watch how you stepping, cause brotherhood. I lay my life down right now for all my sisters and brothers, because I love them. I see them dapping and hug them. It's amazing to see how well we adapt from the struggle. Born again from a life of sin, trapped in the gutter. My mind frame was to kill my own kind. Feeling inferior, waking up ready to die. Run with them killers, so it's just a matter of time. For I take your life or let you take mine. That's when I realized the slaves killing slaves while the white man live to get old. We in them graves. Shit got me feeling plain. I opened the Bible, went through them records, found out we was royalty, a nation to be respected. But in this world we rejected, we hated for our complex. Still fighting to get accepted. We hear the truth and reject it, but love is getting corrected. And all my niggas correct me. The commandments, the foundation we erected. Brotherhood is a weapon. Brotherhood is a weapon. Better watch how you stepping, cause brotherhood is a weapon. If I die for my niggas, it'll be an honor and a blessing. Better watch how you stepping, cause brotherhood is a weapon. Brotherhood is a weapon. Better watch how you stepping, cause brotherhood is a weapon. If I die for my niggas, it'll be an honor and a blessing. Better watch how you stepping, cause